Welcome to Business Reporter's Improving Business Performance campaign. I'm Rachel Hicks. AI, data and automation sit at the heart of the telecoms industry's drive to cut costs and improve network performance. Yet while pilots are easy to showcase, turning AI into everyday operational impact remains a challenge. In this interview, we explore what's been holding back autonomous networks and why success depends on fixing the data foundations beneath AI and automation. Joining us is Charles Bly, CEO of Mycom, a global telecom software company positioning itself as a key enabler of this next phase of network automation. Charles, can you talk to me about why automation of the fixed and mobile networks is important and what it looks like?
Running a network is about having amazing network quality, running it efficiently, and delivering an amazing customer experience for the end customers. Because in mature markets in fixed and mobile around the world, it is really important that they eke out every single bit of a competitive advantage to drive growth. And the only way cost effectively at the vast scale that our customers work at around the world to drive that quality and cost is through automation. So in some ways, automation is the way to drive the competitive advantage and drive the ultimate growth for our customers. And that's why at Mycom, over 20 years, we've been investing in service assurance and automation. And with the advent of next generation of generative AI and all that comes with it, it takes it to the next level of automation, which we're really excited about for our customers.
So what are the main challenges that prevent CSPs from moving faster to autonomous networks?
Yes, well, we see large variations around the world in mobile and fixed CSPs in their levels of automation and autonomous networks. And I think the view has been in the last 5-7 years, the significant investments in 5G and fibre would bring along with it automation. And it hasn't, because it is a multi-vendor, multi-technology world. So the common characteristics that we see for those getting it right is that they have a single view of the data. There's no islands of data. They recognise they're in a multi-vendor world and they look at a single pane of glass and technologies that bring all of this multi-vendor together. They combine both the network teams and the IT teams to come up with solutions that combine the best of both worlds. And they take risks in investing in certain technologies, and based on success, they iterate. So really, in essence, they've built solid foundations of data to drive what has been really good automation in some cases. But I have to say that the technology exists to go to even higher levels of automation in the last 10 years. And AI is taking this to another level. So those companies that focus on the data foundations, the single view of the data, they add in all of the automation that we've been creating the last 10 years and invest in AI are the ones who are really going to take it to the next level.
You've mentioned data is important. Why does data quality matter so much in addressing these challenges?
Yeah. Well, in autonomous networks, the challenge is to prevent issues happening. That's the first thing we should be doing, because it's much easier to prevent them than fix them later. But then if they do have issues in the network, then obviously fixing them quickly is then important. So it's addressing those two sort of challenges. And this needs to be done at low cost and at real-time speed with accuracy. And so putting all of those three things together is really, really important in terms of driving the automation. And therefore, to feed into the speed, the cost, and the accuracy, it needs that data foundation which is highly accurate. So the difference between success and failure in automation then is really the data, because you can't automate a mess and expect the automation to drive the speed at the right cost and the accuracy. So those companies that have invested in the last 5 to 7 years are really going to take the new technologies that are coming out and power ahead. And for those that perhaps feel more challenged in this area and haven't invested as much, they really need to pivot very, very quickly to fix the data foundations such that they are not overtaken by their competitors and they can use this AI technology revolution to leapfrog in the next 5 to 7 years.
Before we talk about wider automation strategies, what is Mycom's vision on creating a data analytics platform which is a single source of truth?
Yeah. Well, it's really important. We've got a vision, but we've also created that vision as well. And what this platform needs to deliver for our customers is a single source of the truth. It needs to work at vast scale in real time. It needs to absorb structured and unstructured data from the network. It needs to add context to the data. So don't just aggregate it, it needs to add context so that it can be interpreted by other applications and people in the CSP. And importantly, it also has to be open because we're streaming all of this data and making it useful gold data, if you will, or platinum data, but then it also needs to be streamed and open for other applications in the CSP as well. So that's really what the vision is, and that's actually what we've delivered. In essence, our data analytics platform removes all the ambiguity and inconsistencies in the data which could undermine AI automation and results going forward. So in essence, it's the single source of the truth that works in real time to power automation in our customers.
So at a high level, how does Mycom approach driving high levels of automation for a CSP?
There are 3 different types of technologies that CSPs should use to drive high levels of automation. The first one is what we've been using for the last 10 years, is rule-based automation. So if something happens, then do an action. It's low cost, it's highly efficient and incredibly accurate. And we have some customers that have used rule-based automation to get into the low 3s in the autonomous network scale, which is quite impressive. The second technologies to use are machine learning technologies. And we're seeing really exciting results with machine learning AI because it's a mature technologies. Again, it's lower cost, it's highly accurate, and the speed is very impressive as well with the results that it produces. And then finally, the third is obviously the latest and greatest, which is generative AI using LLM-based technologies and also implementing it with agentic AI as well. So we've been investing for many years in all 3 technologies, including the latest LLM-based AI technologies. And our recommendation for CSPs going forward is quite straightforward. The first is to focus on the data foundation, so having one performance management system, not many, having one fault management system, not many, and having them as an integrated PM/FM system really drives that single source of the truth. And the second and last element is using all 3 of these technologies together: rule-based, machine learning, and LLM. And we see over the next 5 to 8 years as the AI technologies, both machine and the generative LLM, become more accurate and more cost effective, they will take over more of the workload to really drive those high levels of automation.
So assuming you have the data foundation right, can you expand more on how Mycom uses AI?
Yes, well, as I've said before, the 2 technologies that we're really focused on is machine learning and generative LLM-based AI. In the machine learning area, this is really quite exciting, where we can use the technology to forecast anomalies that are unfolding in the network and prevent issues before they occur. And if they do occur, then we can automate the resolution. And this is really focused on reducing cost, because if you can prevent issues, you're ultimately reducing significant costs running the network. And importantly, also improving the customer experience. So there's a whole series of things that you can do with machine learning that are really powerful to improve the quality of the network. In LLM-based AI or agentic AI, this is very exciting as well. We see it very much in the co-pilot mode in the next year or so. But as the cost comes down and the accuracy of the LLM goes up, we're really seeing it taking over lots of other functions in running the network to drive down the costs and improve the quality of the customer experience. And then lastly, I'd say it's about being open. We've developed our technologies such that they can work obviously well with each other, but also we recognise that this is about agents and AI working collaboratively together like teams do. You bring a group of experts together, they work together, and that's how we see it as well. Because ultimately what we want to be using these technologies for is to improve the costs of running the network, improving the network quality, and also driving better levels of customer experience to drive the growth for our customers.
How does Mycom support business users in an extremely technical operation?
So AI combined with adding network data and business data together gives the line of business executive that ability in natural language to query both sets of data at the same time, which is enormously powerful to drive better decision making in our customer CSPs. And we see it today also when we've also got a mobile app, as well as you can obviously use it on your laptop, the ability to query the network in real time using generative AI. And it really brings the power of bringing all of this data together for the line of business users. Because ultimately it's about better decision making. It's better decision making in real time such that they can create more compelling value propositions or responding to customer service requests. And it is really the combination of this business data and network data using AI which unlocks this.
So finally, Charles, what are the key takeaways and Mycom's outlook for the next few years?
Yeah, well, we're very excited for the future of the industry and our business. And as I said before, we're really focused on driving these sort of high levels of autonomous networks to level 4 and 5. It really drives that improvement in the cost, the better customer experience, and sort of powers the growth for our customers going forward. And we've got, as I said earlier, we've got a lot of customers still at level 1 and 2, and some reaching level 3, but none reaching to level 4 and 5. And to drive to that high levels of automation, which drives all those competitive advantages that I talked about earlier, requires really fixing the data foundations. Because the AI is only as good as the data that it feeds into it to drive the automation going forward. And we've been investing very heavily over the last several years to meet these new challenges for our customers. So we've been known over the last 20 years as a leading independent in the network assurance and the service assurance world. And we want to retain that, but we're also building on top of that to be an AI-enabled data management company going forward. So look, we're really excited for the future with all the new technologies that are coming out, and we're looking to invest very heavily with our CSP customers alongside them to generate all the value that AI has to deliver to power the next wave of growth going forward.
Charles, thank you very much for coming and talking to us today.
Thank you.